What's up, everyone? Kriddle here, and my camera is a little bit cattywampus. Anyway, I wanted to make a quick video and talk about how you should play Diablo 4. There's a lot of people going around right now and saying things like, oh, follow this guide and do this, and this is how you become the most powerful, and, these are how you get massive numbers, and here's how you get all these legendaries, and, I can get 20 million XP in an hour, or whatever. And honestly, don't play the game like that. Just don't. Your average player is not looking to get to the max level and just blow through the game and then be bored. So I kind of want to go as, a dad, as, somebody that just loves video games, and how you should play this game. I've spent over 200 hours playing this game already. And, it's a massive, very open world, and it's a lot of fun. And, if you want to get the most out of it, you should honestly play it completely. I don't want to say blind, because that's a whole thing that, some people don't like to hear. But play it without looking up any guides, without doing anything. Go through the story. If you go over here to your journal, you'll get these quests, and it'll lead you to where you need to go. As you go along those places, explore, look for things. If you find a new side quest, check it out, see what it says, see what it does. And I guarantee you'll enjoy this game so much more than just following a guide and blowing through it and not seeing everything. I have personally done nearly everything there is to do in this game, going through all of the renown and finding all the waypoints, all the strongholds. I have missed a few side quests that I'm still working on. I still find them every once in a while, just exploring and having fun with the game. So that's how I recommend playing. When you first start out, you're going to start out down here, and you're going to work your way up, into the little city that was right here, little town or whatever. This is literally where you start in the game, and then you work your way up to Kriddle, and the main story quest will lead you here. From here, it'll lead you out into some areas over here in Fractured Peaks, and then from there, you're going to start seeing, things where it's going to say, okay, you can now go over here, or you can go over here and do these other things. I recommend doing that. It'll then eventually lead you down here, where this is the higher level part of the game, up to I think level 45 down here or something for the main story. And then, if you are enjoying it and you want to do more after that, then you can. But I highly, highly, highly recommend just following it and discovering things yourself. It's so much more fun when you do it that way. You get a lot more gratification out of it. You don't know, oh, what's going to happen around the corner? What kind of new monster am I going to fight? There's actually a lot of types of monsters in this, even though, we know there's only so many types of demons and skeletons and zombies and that kind of thing you can put in the game. But there's actually a decent variety, in my opinion, for this type of game. So definitely check that out. The boss fights are fun. A lot of them are very unique in the mechanics of them and how they work. So check those out. They're very interesting to go through. The lore is really fun, and some of these side quests, there's a whole side quest here in Kriddle. I don't want to do any spoilers. I'm trying not to go into too much detail about anything in particular, but there is a side quest here that starts in Kriddle where you go into the cellar, and it's an exorcism quest. So these people have been possessed by demons, and you have to go around and kind of fix that. You're trying to do an exorcism, and you have to fight the demon and all that kind of stuff. And it's a fun little side quest, and it's got multiple steps to it, and I highly recommend trying to do that. Also, as you go through, you might find random mounts just from doing side quests, doing drops that are in the game, things like that. I think there's one up here somewhere that I need to actually go get, but it's somewhere up in here, and you can get a mount from doing some side quest stuff. So that's my recommendation. If you are just now picking up the game, or if you're looking into it and you're like, well, man, where do I start? What do I do? Everything's overwhelming. This the whole Paragon system's overwhelming. The skill tree, there's just too much to go over. I promise you, if you just take a few minutes and look at it, it's not nearly as difficult as you think. When you first start out, you can only choose between these 4 skills. So Find out which one works for you. Try them all out. Put a point in one, use it for a little bit, be like, oh, I like that, I don't like that. The best part about this game is you can at any point just take a skill point out and put it back into somewhere else. It only costs you some gold, and it's actually relatively cheap. Even now at level 72, it's still only a couple thousand gold to do it. And I can just, pop a point out, put a point in, pop a point out, put a point in. I mean, I could do this all day, and yeah, it costs me gold each time I do it, but who cares? You're going to make so much gold, it really doesn't matter. So try different things out, find a build that works for you, and have fun with it. If you're struggling, then maybe look up, okay, well, what synergizes well with something else. I still wouldn't recommend going and looking at a guide and going, okay, this guide has, this exact point here, this exact point here, and then going to the Paragon board and, pulling the Paragon board out and going, okay, so I have to buy this skill and this and this and go all the way up. Oh, I have to put this exact glyph into this location. Don't do that. I promise you, you're going to have so much more fun if you just experiment. I personally have made this build on this character. I've looked up some guides. I've looked at some information just to have knowledge that I may have missed. But at the same time, I wanted to experiment. So my first playthrough, going from level 1 to 50, I didn't look up anything for this game. And I'm a Diablo 4 or Diablo player. I love Diablo since Diablo 1. I played that when I was in high school. Loved it, and I went all the way up through, and I've always played it the same way. The first playthrough, I go through at my pace, and I enjoy the story and the lore and trying to figure things out. Then later on, I might go find a meta build, and see how things work. But this particular build worked out very well for me, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. In fact, I'll probably make a video on this build at some point. I call it the popcorn build. And the cool thing about it is you can change it up to your play style. That's one thing that I loved about it is, when I got bored with a certain play style, I would just swap out a few skills, try something different, and it still functioned and it worked. It's not the most powerful build in the world, but it does get you through the content, and it's actually a lot of fun. But I'm not going to go into more detail about that. As far as the Paragon board is concerned, though, it looks very confusing and very complicated. Again, you can always just go here and say, okay, for 4,000 points or 4,000 gold, I can take out that point. Oh, now I want to put it back in. Boom, back in. 4,000 gold, put it back in. Like, it doesn't really matter. Yes, it can take a lot if you say, oh, wow, I messed up way back here. Okay, well, way back here, how'd you mess up? Do you have to take all these points out? No, you could potentially, if I just take out, let's say I take out this, these points right here. So I've got 3 points to work with, and I don't want to get, say, this right here. I don't want this strength. So I can just go 1, 2, 3, take out that one. Boom. Right? You don't have to go back and redo every single thing. So don't feel like you're going to mess up if you don't follow one of these guides perfectly, and you're going to, have this really weak character down the road. I can promise you that everything is fixable. Everything is absolutely fixable. So again, have fun. Enjoy your time playing the game. I think following a guide is going to be one of the biggest mistakes people are going to make in this game, unless all they want to do is just min-max, go from 1 to 100, and just blow through the content, and then they're going to be like, oh, there's nothing to do, I'm bored. So that's just my opinion. Follow the quest, follow the story, and explore. This game is absolutely fantastic. Once you get to Kiovishad, you don't have to go over here into Fractured Peaks. I don't remember exactly when it, says, hey, go wherever you want. But I think, this area up in here is only like level 8 or 9 or something. And then it goes up to maybe in the teens here and over here. So you could explore this whole area. And I think you can do acts 1, 2, and 3 in any order that you want. And just level up and have fun with it. You could just do side quests for a while and just explore. I think that finding these altars of Lilith, I have found literally every single one of them. Yes, I did have to look them up. A lot of them are just hard to find. There's maps that you can go and check that out. If you want to find a map, go look at it. There's, mapgenie.io, whatever. There's tons of maps for this game. And you can go and say, okay, well, I've done looking through Fractured Peaks, but I'm missing, let's say 5 altars of Lilith somewhere, and I can't seem to find them. Okay, go look them up. Find the ones in Fractured Peaks if you really want to. but it's not necessary. Move on to the next part of the game. I highly recommend don't look up anything until you go through the main story and you beat the entire game. Once you have finished the main story, which is going to be around level 45 or so, once you finish the main story, then say, okay, now do I want to go back and find literally everything? Do I want to go back and read all of the lore, do all that kind of stuff? If you're enjoying the game, go for it. If at that point you're like, I feel finished with the game, which is probably still going to take you a good 40 to 50 hours just to get to that point. If you don't do all of the things, if you try to do everything, 100 hours, easy 100 hours, but it's going to take you 40 to 50 hours probably if you just do a few side quests here and there, and you just go and I'm just going to explore this area and do this. Now if you blow straight through and just do the story and do nothing else and follow that, you're probably going to run into an area where you're going to have to level up a little bit, so you're going to have to go grind out some levels. I did that during the betas on one of my characters. I was like, let me see how I can do this. By the time I actually hit somewhere up here in Fractured Peaks, I was under leveled by about 4 levels. So I just went through the main story. I skipped all side content, got up here, and then there's a quest where you have to run through here, this area specifically. You're running like all over this little area, and you're going to these little altars, and then you end up over here somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it is, but you end up over here somewhere, and I just got my butt handed to me by this this monster that comes out and just freezes you and just totally annihilates you. I think I was level like 8 and they were 12 or something. I don't remember the exact numbers, but you're going to want to level up a little bit. So I recommend just going in, finding the quest. You see a little blue exclamation point, go over there, see what they have to say, check it out. Every few levels, the game is very good about telling you, hey, you have a potion upgrade. So, it levels, 10, 20, 30, 45, 60, something like that. I think those are the levels. The game will just have a little arrow right here, and it'll say, hey, go to the alchemist. That's literally it. It won't tell you, like a big thing won't come up, but right here it'll have a little arrow and have a little up arrow, go to the alchemist. Then you just go to the alchemist and upgrade your stuff. Easy peasy. You'll see on the map, if you go, at certain levels, I think level 20 or 25, you'll start opening up these things over here, the jeweler and the Oculus guy. You'll be able to, or the cultist Oculus, I don't know why I said that, occultist guy, you'll be able to start getting these at level 20, 25, etc. Just follow what the game has, and you're going to have so much more fun. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. I hope this helps you out in your decision on, if you want to purchase Diablo or if you want to, pass on it at this point. But I do highly recommend this game. It is a lot of fun. The story's great. The gameplay is a lot of fun, and the variety of builds that you can do is actually quite surprising, being that it feels like a very linear skill tree, but once you really dig deep into it, you're going to say, okay, well, I want to mix this skill with this skill and this skill, and then you get down here to the bottom and you're like, okay, well, I've got all these options down here as well. These options for the sorcerer, for example, each one of these makes your gameplay very, very different. This one right here is all for freezing things and exploding them. If you're not doing ice damage, you can still do this, because I just have Frost Nova. It's literally the only ice damage that I do, but that freezes everything, so they explode. Awesome. But most of my other damage is from lightning, so I could actually do lightning down here. I could choose one of these. I could also go over here and say your fire critical strike damage increases blah 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 blah. Killing an enemy with critical strike grants you both of these. There's a build specifically around that one ability where you get a legendary aspect that when you get a critical strike kill, it gives you both of those constantly. So I with my build, because I have a lot of lightning damage, it does a lot of crit, I can proc that to where it is up 100% of the time, because I'm constantly just crit killing things. But I found that I did not like that for my personal build. I like this shatter ability, and it was a lot of fun. So again, just play the game the way you want to, following a guide, listening to all these people that are like, oh, you're not following this perfect guide, you're not doing everything meta. trust me, it's going to take away from the game. It's going to make it less fun for you. And eventually you're just going to be like, I'm bored. I'm done with the game. But the satisfaction is definitely there if you play through it on your own. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that. Hopefully it helps you out. And if so, please like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. I do stream daily on Twitch. So come and check that out. And hopefully I will see you next time. Bye.